Now the next one is quadruple type of mass spectrometer or mass analyzer. In the diagram, we can easily see that the ions are entering through the source slit. When they enter, there are 4 poles, or there are 4 rods which are having or which are applied signals, but in the opposite side. So what happens is that all the ions that enter will oscillate between these. The ones which can properly oscillate will pass to the end. The others will collide and pass out through the gaps of those rods. So a quadruple mass analyzer consists of 4 parallel rods that have fixed DC and alternating RF potentials. Ions produced in the source of the instrument are then focused and passed along the middle of the quadrupoles. Their motion will depend on the electric fields, so that only ions of a particular mass-charge ratio will have a stable trajectory and pass through to the detector. The RF field is varied to bring the ions of different mass to charge into focus of the detector and thus build a mass spectrum. The trajectory of the ions through the quadrupole is actually very complex. This figure is showing actually a very simplified version. Again, a similar figure. Here you can watch a small animation of the quadrupole type of mass detector or mass analyzer. Here you can see the 4 rods in actual for the mass spectrometer, quadrupole mass spectrometer. This is the explanation for the animation that you just saw. This is a small video, an animated demonstration of the quadrupole type of mass spectrometer. So these were the 4 types of mass spectrometers. We will now be seeing the output of a mass spectrometer, that is a mass spectrum. So the output is usually converted into a stick diagram. Stick diagram in the sense, one peak will be represented as one stick. And see, this is a stick diagram and it is of molybdenum. Since molybdenum has many isotopes, so you can see various lines here. Now this is a mass spectrum. Now what happens is, you usually consider the base peak as the strongest one and it is defined as 100%. And then the others are relatively marked. It is mass to charge ratio to abundance, means how many ions have actually been detected. This is the mass spectrum of boron. 2 lines because boron has 2 isotopes. Now, once we have seen what a mass spectrometer does, we have understood how mass spectrometry works. in the previous lecture, we also understood how a gas chromatograph works. Both are separation techniques, but a gas chromatograph gives you much better separation as compared to a mass spectrometer. And suppose if these two are combined, that means you use a gas chromatograph, separate out the ions, and then pass these ions to a mass spectrometer. We are using the mass spectrometer as a detector for the gas chromatograph. Such an instrument is called the GCMS, a combination of gas chromatography and mass spectrometry. Similarly, we can have other combinations, that is LCMS, that is you have liquid chromatography and mass spectrometry. So this is how an instrument would look like for a GCMS. Initially, you have the gas chromatograph. After that, these ions that are given out from the column or separated from the column are then passed through the ion source, and they are split into ions and passed on through a mass spectrometer for further analysis. These two pages are giving you an explanation of the GC and the MS combined. Now in GCMS, one thing needs to be kept in mind is that the ions that are coming, the atoms that are coming from the particular gas chromatograph, the pressure inside the column is high. Whereas when it comes to the mass spectrometer, it's nearly vacuum. For that particular reason, you have to have something which will actually lower the pressure of the column. The combination of GC and MS. Once the pressure is lowered, then the samples can be passed to the ion source, that means for ionization, and later on for the acceleration and deflection, and lastly being collected at the detector and being detected as peaks or as sticks, as we saw in the mass spectrum. Gas chromatography we have already covered yesterday, and today we have covered mass spectrometry. In mass spectrometry, we saw the basic principle of mass spectrometer. Then we saw the various components of the mass spectrometer, and we saw the various types of mass spectrometers. Out of these, questions that could be asked in the exams, basic principle of a mass spectrometer, in that you are expected to draw the very first diagram that we discussed. This particular diagram for basic principle of mass spectrometer. This could be asked for 5 marks. Then you could be asked a question on explaining the mass spectrometer. If you are asked to explain the mass spectrometer, then you can draw this block diagram and you could explain how each and every component is working. That means you have to elaborate on every component: sample introduction, ion source, mass analyzer, ion detector, and the data system, which we have done in this particular session. Another question could be, explain any one type of mass spectrometer, or it could be a specific question asking you to explain either time of flight mass spectrometer, or a magnetic type mass spectrometer, or a quadrupole type of mass spectrometer. then you would have to draw the block diagram for that individual mass spectrometer. For example, in the case of mass spectrometer, magnetic type of mass spectrometer, you would have to draw either this or this diagram. I would suggest you refer to the diagram which is there in the book by R.S. Khanpur. For a time of flight mass spectrometer, again, this diagram will do, but you also refer the diagram which is there in R.S. Khanpur. And lastly, for quadrupole type, you can draw this diagram. Again, there is one more simplified diagram or a line diagram present in R.S. Khanpur, which you all can refer from the exam point of view. Once there was a question for what are the different types of systems for sample introduction. So for that reason, I showed you one slide, how the sample is introduced, be it solid, liquid or gaseous in the mass spectrometer, this particular. So you are supposed to explain this along with these diagrams. All diagrams are not necessary, one of them will do. There was another question on resolution of mass spectrometer, which also point we have discussed. Resolution of mass spectrometer. Apart from these, you can again refer the questions, university questions, which are there on the web page. Any doubts now from this point?